We have our first question from Matthew Nagra. Sorry, Matthew. Hey guys, your show has been a part of my daily routine for about a year now. My question is about comedies. It seems nowadays that every comedy that comes out is rated R. This year there has been Neighbors, 22 Jump Street, Tammy, and soon Let's Be Cops. The only PG-13 comedy I can think of with any hype is Dumb and Dumber 2. Do audiences now only want to see really vulgar comedies? Why aren't there more family-friendly comedies not being made?
I take exception to the word vulgar when it comes to those movies. Like, yes, there are scenes that you wouldn't want your kids to see, right? But I wouldn't call 22 Jump Street a vulgar movie or Neighbors.
They're rated R though, which means that families can't go see them.
Oh, of course, but
Or
like vulgar means like, I don't know, they're running around with their junk hanging out through the whole movie or something like that.
Let's not forget the MPAA has these really weird restrictions where if you say the F-bomb more than once becomes R, which I think is really, really silly. So I mean, you know, what makes a PG-13 movie, which can have incredible amounts of gore and violence and murder, versus an R-rated comedy that has 2 F-bombs? I don't see. You know, you have to make up your own mind. You're an adult. Go see the movie. If you find it too vulgar, don't see R-rated movies anymore. I don't know what to say about that. You know, it's
I'm
like
not even gonna go there with MPA because
Right.
I've gone off on that so much on the show. But I will say that I do miss the family-friendly comedy because I grew up in the '80s and I remember seeing movies like, you know, all the vacation movies, the Griswolds. And I love this question because I started thinking about all the movies I loved that I don't think there's a market for necessarily anymore. And it's not that people don't want to go see movies like Ghostbusters or National Lampoon's Vacation or Caddyshack or any of the movies I saw when I was a kid. And they had some humor that was inappropriate, but really, I think it just boils down to dollars. The marketplace is more crowded. There's a lot more movies coming out. There's a lot more ways to see the movies coming out. But you know, moviegoers are more informed now. There's the internet. It's a different time. So while I would love to be in a world where I could go to the theater and see the Griswolds, you know, every Christmas or every summer or whenever they come out, I just don't know that the marketplace can bear it. And I think that's really what it boils down to. I think that's why we don't see more, you know, Goonies and that kind of thing, which I know it sucks. I feel you. I feel your pain.
I think from a creative standpoint, though, it's tough. Like to hit that middle ground, because you're either going to go, a lot of times when you do comedies, it's like, here, this is for kids. People are running around, things fall on their head and blah, blah, blah. And then the other extreme, you know, you want to touch on subjects like sex or violence and all that other stuff. So it's hard to get that middle ground.
It's very hard.
So,
well, also we live in a world now where, like in the '80s and even the '90s, we didn't have 5,000 channels of cable. We didn't have the Hallmark channel. There's an actual channel dedicated to Hallmark card style movies, which are family orientated. So families can all gather together, but more so now in their living room as a family unit than to go out. So what takes a movie like, that's why a lot of animated films or a movie like Maleficent make a big deal, make a big splash, because the whole family can then, hey, we can make an event out of this. So that's why I think movies have now taken that turn to market. So like a movie like Let's Be Cops, which I really cannot wait to see. I can't wait to see it. It looks funny. They've got me sold. I want to see it. I want it to be as vulgar as possible, for as funny as possible. When I say that, I say I don't want those restrictions, like, oh, we couldn't do this, so we had to nip our creative buds to make some PG-13 roundhouse. You know, it's like, look, it's R-rated.
You're such a vulgar person.
I know.
Yeah, you really are.
I'm pretty vulgar.
It's interesting though. Like, remember, God, I can't believe I'm blanking. The Lone Ranger, I think, tried to be that. I think the Lone Ranger tried to appeal to like the whole family and ended up being kind of too violent for little kids. And also, I don't know. I feel like it's tough creatively. I think you're right. I think studios are kind of scratching their heads when it comes to how do we recreate a National Lampoon's Vacation for this era of filmmaking.
Lone Ranger, I was going to
Was it PG-13? It was PG-13, wasn't it?
I think it was.
I think so.
Yeah,
it had to be.
I want to say it was PG, but I think it was a good. It was a family film. Like if you have like raucous kids, you know, take them to go to sleep when the Lone Ranger comes on because it's 3 hours. You know, so it's a little relaxing.
Or they pee in their pants because it's way too long for a little kid to sit in a theater. I mean, the thing is I just think money dictates these kinds of decisions, and I think that those kinds of films just don't bring the dollars theaters the way a 22 Jump Street does anymore.
Yeah, and then, you know, you have like Night at the Museum trailer we're talking about, like, that's supposed to be family friendly, but there's well, you got a monkey peeing on two little guy, like, you know, that's not exactly.
Isn't that's what the family's all about now, right?
Hey everyone, if you like this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.